Here we are again, guys. We got another Formula 1 car made by Kyosho. Let's take a look at the box first here. It says 650 yen there in the bottom right, so that's like $6.50. And there's 10 parts in this thing. 10 parts. I'm generally just looking for the year of manufacture. And down here it says 2007. Okay, so we got an idea how old it is. If you want to focus there, if you want to pause, you can see the other cars available in this collection. Okay, so within this box, we have a card here with some basic information here, which I can't decipher. There is 2 numbers, and this is number 27. So Jean Alesi, or Alessi, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Okay, there's a stand for when you're finished. It's just 2 pegs though, no screw, which is kind of weird because, the thing's going to fall off without a screw. Strange. Okay, so I'm going to have to, here's some instructions. I'm going to cut away and come back with a finished model. Well, I'm back here with the assembled thing, and Kyosho's getting better. The included screwdriver actually worked pretty well with the screws to put this together, so you can use the screwdriver they give you. The older ones, wasn't the right head size for the screws, but this one's good. This is the closest photograph I could find. In this 1994 season, Ferrari made so many changes to this car with the different wings, and even the side pods changed. So this is the closest one I could find, so bear that in mind when comparing. The big difference, I think, with the photograph on this one is the fact that this rear wing has a little wing in front of it, but the model does not. But the sponsorship and all that stuff otherwise looks pretty similar. You'll see that Kyosho doesn't have the Marlboro stripes there. Although it's possible maybe this paint job is different because the bodywork changed so much. Not sure, but Kyosho has been known to censor their stuff. So let's see, what else did I learn? The reason why this is called a 412T1 is because it has 4 valves per cylinder and there's 12 cylinders. And it's 3.5 liters, and it would make between 750 and 850 horsepower. It wasn't the most successful car though for Ferrari. It raced in 16 races and only won 1 race, so it just wasn't really doing so well. But it was the beginning of the turning of the tide for Ferrari. So later on, they started to win a lot of races. This engine, though, one other statistic I found, can whale up to 15,800 RPM. 15,800 RPM is really high. That's higher than most motorcycles. So I don't know of another car that goes that high. I can't recall off the top of my head. Okay, so that's all I learned. So you'll see the tires are really nice on this. I mean, the Goodyear Eagle printing is fantastic, and it's on both sides of the tire. So that's nice. Kyosho did a good job there. The wheels, they're supposed to be these little mesh wheels. Unfortunately, you got the exposed axle. I'm not sure if there's a way around that for Kyosho, unfortunately. This front wing is plastic, and they're tampo printing the graphics. I have a lot of the older Kyosho F1 cars, and they have decals here. So it's nice to see that this F1 collection number 2 has tampos all around. So this should look good for the foreseeable future. And amazingly, this paint is actually in good shape. There's a little contaminant there, but Kyosho in red usually means blistering or paint rash. There it is. There's a tiny bit there, but I've seen some much worse blistering from the red Kyoshos. Okay, well, it's interesting. The nose is up on this particular Ferrari. They're going up, down. They're constantly changing. You got these barge boards here, 2 of them in this case, trying to either put a little air to get into those radiators or push most of it away. Okay, so there's a top view. Get an idea of the airflow coming in and maybe trying to get past that rear tire. There's a really interesting looking vent here I didn't notice before. How it starts here, It feeds in probably, I'm guessing that is an intake to the intake, the engine that is. Okay, some good sponsorship printing again, all Tampos, the Fiat, the Ferrari, the Egypt Pioneer, Magneti Marelli, all these little ones back here. Carried on to the rear wing as well, and that rear wing is you know, it's not just flat. It does kick up here. On the bottom side, same, it kicks up, right? So it's like a real wing profile. So you got a big kicked up one up top and a relatively flat one on the bottom. And that looks pretty accurate to the real car. Okay. For some reason, there's a lot of friction on this particular model. This tire doesn't want to roll freely. The fronts are a little looser, but the rear, this side's okay too, but for some reason, I mean, yeah, this one tire doesn't really roll. So, yeah, so if that matters to you guys, you might not want to get a Kyosho F1 car. So there's a steering wheel, obviously, but it's actually round. So in 1994, I guess they were still using round steering wheels. A little molded in indication of the harnesses. Oh, and actually, here's the intake to the engine. So I wonder what that one's for. Anyone know? It would be cool to know, but leave a comment if you know. Okay, so yeah, again, the censorship of sponsorship here. This should have the Marlboro stripes again, and here Kyosho just has a big white blank area. So it's silly. I think it's silly to censor a diecast car. So it's weird. Okay, here's the bottom. I didn't show that to you guys. Yeah, decent enough detail. Unfortunately, it doesn't say what year this is running. It does say what the car is, but it would be nice if all the F1 cars wrote the year they competed, because they do change pretty much every season. Most F1 cars change even more than once in a season, like this one. Okay, well, let's take a look at a couple other Kyosho Ferraris I have. I'll pull out the ones closest to it. And actually, let me get the spin thing here. Okay, so yeah, I can compare the photo again if you want. So the one I have closest to it is 2 years earlier, and this is called a Ferrari F92 AT, and this model came out in 2004. So you can see it's a wider track and no barge boards, not those weird vertical fins on the side of the car. Much smaller intakes to the radiator pods, and much wider tires. So, yeah. Okay, so I do have the year after this one, which is competing in 1995, and it's called the Ferrari F1 412 T2. You know, so the T1 is what you're looking at, and then this is the T2 variation. So yeah, bigger, longer barge boards than the T2, and the tires are probably the same dimensions, but there's some evolution going on. There's some evolving occurring here. Okay. Alright, I think that's it for today as far as the comparison goes. And let's put this on its own little spin thing here. Well, as always, as I say in my Kyosho F1 car reviews, I do it because I like to see the evolution of Formula 1. You know, seeing all the wings and the bodywork changing, as well as the wheelbases and the track widths. The FIA is constantly trying to slow them down, or really just try to keep all the cars competitive. That's the real purpose of a racing organization. But I guess most people know that. Alright guys, well, I'm just rambling on now, so I'll let you go, and I do appreciate taking the time to watch. Alright, see ya.